Samurai Nippon. The Tragedy of Date Masamune.
If only I had been born 10 years earlier. There was a man who uttered these words countless times throughout his life. Date Masamune, the warlord known as the One-Eyed Dragon, the conqueror of northeastern Japan. Despite being one of the strongest warriors of the Sengoku period, he could never seize control of the nation. Why? The answer is cruelly simple. He was born far too late.
But first, please subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This helps the algorithm show you more videos perfectly suited to your interests. Chapter 1, Historical Context and Birth.
1567, the year Date Masamune was born in Dewa Province's Yonezawa, Japan's power struggle had already reached its final phase. That year, Oda Nobunaga was 34 years old. Raising the banner of Tenka-Fubu unification through military force, he had conquered the Saido clan of Mino Province and opened the path to Kyoto. Toyotomi Hideyoshi was 31. Still known as Kinoshita Tokichiro, he had begun his climb from being Nobunaga's sandal-bearer to becoming the future ruler of Japan. Tokugawa Ieyasu was 25. As a minor daimyo of Mikawa Province, he was quietly nurturing his ambitions for national supremacy while preparing for battle against Takeda Shingen. In other words, at the moment Masamune drew his first breath, the path to national unification was essentially predetermined. In central Japan, Nobunaga was rising to power in the Tokai region. Ieyasu was consolidating his base, and soon Hideyoshi would unify the nation. This scenario was already written. But northeastern Japan was different. Oshuthas region, far from the capital, remained a frontier. Here, the Sengoku period of warring states continued. The Date clan, Ashina clan, Mogami clan, Soma clan's Mal daimyo lords fought each other, stealing territories and continuing blood-soaked conflicts. In modern terms, while major corporate consolidations were progressing in Tokyo, Osaka and Nagoya, fierce competition among small and medium enterprises continued in the Tohoku region. That's the image. National unification progressed in central Japan, while warring chaos persisted in the northeast. This time lag would determine Masamune's fate. September 5th, 1567. Yonezawa Castle in Dewa Province, Bontenmaru, was born as the legitimate son of Date Terumune, the 16th head of the Date clan. This would be the future Date Masamune. The Date clan was a prestigious family of Oshu, with samurai bloodline continuing from the era of Minamoto no Yoritomo, but what awaited this infant was not blessing but a curse. 5 years after his birth, a terrible plague struck young Bontenmaru.
Chapter 2, Birth of the One-Eyed Dragon and Suffering.
In 1572, when Bontenmaru was 5 years old, he was infected with smallpox. At that time, smallpox was a terrifying epidemic with a mortality rate exceeding 30%. Far worse than modern influenza, it was the disease people feared most. High fever, rashes covering the entire body, intense pain. Young Bontenmaru teetered on the brink of death. After 10 days of fighting the disease, he survived. But the price was far too high. He completely lost vision in his right eye, and his face was covered with countless pockmarks, abata scars. In the Sengoku period, physical ugliness was fatal for a warrior. Why? Because appearance was considered proof of divine favor. And the cruelest part was his real mother, Yoshihime, lost her affection for her son. Yoshihime looked at Bontenmaru's disfigured face and showed obvious disgust. Instead, she doted on her second son, Kojiro. Beautiful and healthy, Yoshihime began plotting to make her younger son the successor. In modern terms, a 5-year-old child becomes disabled from illness and is rejected by his mother with, "You're ugly, your brother is better." The psychological trauma is unimaginable. At this moment, something sprouted in Bontenmaru's heart. It was vengeance against a world that rejected him, and an obsession to become stronger than anyone. But Bontenmaru had an ally, his father, Terumune. Terumune believed in his son's talent and provided him with the best education. He assigned the Zen monk Kokei Sochin as his teacher, drilling him in military strategy, Chinese classics, calligraphy, tea ceremonial martial arts, and cultural refinements. Kokei was a strict teacher. He taught, even with one eye, if you have the mind's eye, you can see the truth of the battlefield. In 1577, at age 11, his first battle, in a skirmish with the Soma clan, Bontenmaru brilliantly struck down an enemy. When he cut down a person for the first time, he didn't tremble. Rather, he even felt exhilaration. "This is where I'm meant to live on the battlefield." The one-eyed boy could shine. In 1579, at age 13, marriage. His partner was Megohime, daughter of Tamura Kiyowaki, lord of Miharu Castle. Though a political marriage, Megohime didn't dislike Masamune's appearance. Rather, she was attracted to his sharp gaze. For Masamune, she was the first woman to accept him. In 1581, at age 15, in battle against Soma Yoshitane, Masamune took his first enemy general's head. His fighting style was tremendous. With one eye, he surveyed the entire battlefield, accurately read enemy movements, and seized victory by exploiting momentary gaps, fighting like a dragon. Around this time, he began being called the One-Eyed Dragon Dokugan Ryu. Even with one eye, because of one eye, he could see the essence of battle. Focusing with one eye was sharper than seeing with two. His tactical insight was truly like a dragon's gaze targeting prey. In 1584, at age 18, his father Terumune decided to retire and pass the family headship to Masamune. But this was not a peaceful succession. Within the Date clan, the Kujiro faction centered on Mother Yoshihime rebelled. The family split in two, but Masamune forcefully took over as head. From here, his battles truly began.
Chapter 3: Father's Death and Conquest of Tohoku.
October 8, 1585, a tragedy occurs that would define Masamune's life. Hatakeyama Yoshitsugu, lord of Nihonmatsu Castle, kidnapped Masamune's father, Terumune. The incident's origin lay in Masamune's hardline diplomatic stance. Masamune had presented surrounding minor daimyo with a binary choice: submit to Date or be destroyed. Hatakeyama Yoshitsugu was cornered. Unable to withstand Date pressure, he requested peace negotiations with Terumune. But it was a trap. During a meeting at Miyamori Castle, Yoshitsugu suddenly kidnapped Terumune and attempted to take him hostage. In modern terms, it's like kidnapping the opposing company's chairman during negotiations. Receiving urgent news, Masamune immediately ordered pursuit. Leading 200 cavalry, he chased Yoshitsugu, who had taken his father. When he caught up at Takada Plain by the Abukuma River, there Masamune was forced to make the greatest decision of his life. Yoshitsugu shouted, "Come closer and I'll kill Terumune." Terumune also shouted, "Don't mind me, shoot!" The father ordered his son to shoot him. For 5 seconds, Masamune froze. But he made his decision. All troops prepare to fire shoot. The arquebus corps fired in unison. Gunsmoke filled the air. Yoshitsugu fell riddled with bullets along with Terumune in his arms. Masamune dismounted and rushed to his father. Terumune still had breath. "Masamune, well done. The Date clan, I entrust to you." With these words, he died. Masamune, age 19, he had killed his own father by his own command. Was this a cold-blooded judgment or a decision for the greater good? Masamune himself didn't know the answer. Only one thing was certain from this day: something was missing from Masamune's heart. But there was no time for grief. His father's death gave surrounding domains the perfect opportunity to attack Date. Ashina, Satake, Soma, Nikaido Northeastern Daimyo all moved at once. In November 1585, siege of Nihonmatsu Castle. To avenge his father, Masamune launched fierce attacks. It fell in just 1 month, but this was only the beginning. November 1586, Battle of Hitotoribashi, Masamune's greatest crisis. A coalition army of 30,000 led by Ashina Yoshihiro attacked Masamune. The Date army had only 7,000. The troop ratio was over 4-1. In modern terms, it's like a company with 700 employees challenging a corporate alliance of 3,000 employees. Conventionally, there's no chance of victory. But Masamune didn't retreat. "If we retreat here, Date is finished. We must fight." The 19-year-old young warrior stood on the battlefield knowing the overwhelming disadvantage. The battle was brutal. The Date army was surrounded on all sides, driven to the brink of annihilation. Masamune himself crossed death's threshold repeatedly. Arrows grazed his helmet, swords slashed his armor. But here, senior retainer Oniniwa Sagetsu took on the desperate rearguard action. "Let the young lord escape!" Sagetsu, with only a few dozen riders, held back 30,000 enemies. After a valiant battle, Sagetsu was killed, but Masamune survived. From this defeat, Masamune learned courage alone won't win. Strategy, diplomacy, scheme, she must use every means to survive. Then, 1589, the fateful year arrives. June 5th, Battle of Suriagehara, the final showdown between the strongest clan in Tohoku, the Ashina, and Date Masamune. Date Army 23,000, Ashina Army 16,000. This time Masamune had numerical superiority. But Masamune was cautious. Rather than a frontal clash, he used surprise attacks, diversions, encirclement, every strategy. With dawn, battle began. Masamune sent a detachment to flank and strike the Ashina Army's rear. The Ashina Army panicked. The front line collapsed into total rout. The result, Date Army's overwhelming victory. The Ashina clan was effectively destroyed. In June 1589, Masamune entered Aizu Kurokawa Castle. At just 23 years old, he became the hegemon of Tohoku. At this time, Masamune's domain was 114 million koku equivalent to annual revenue of about 171 billion yen. In employee numbers, approximately 114,000, a major corporation. Unifying Tohoku and pushing further south, even national supremacy wasn't just a dream. Masamune's ambition reached its peak. Buther, fate's gears begin to misalign.
Chapter 4, Ambition. Too late in despair.
1590, Toyotomi Hideyoshi began the siege of Odawara. At this time, Hideyoshi had unified most of Japan. Only the Hojo clan of Kanto and the northeastern daimyo remained. Hideyoshi ordered all daimyo nationwide to join the siege of Odawara. This wasn't a request, but a litmus test. Those who didn't comply would be considered enemies. That was the meaning. A messenger came to Masamune too. Join immediately. But Masamune hesitated. If he submitted to Hideyoshi now, the path to national supremacy would be completely closed. But if he resisted, the Date clan would be destroyed by Hideyoshi's army of 200,000. Masamune held a council. His senior retainers' opinions split. We should submit. No, we should fight. Masamune agonized. If he had been born 10 years earlier when Nobunaga fell at Honnoji, he would have been 26. At that time, he might have had a shot at national supremacy. But now, Hideyoshi's unification was imminent. There was nothing to be done. Too late, everything too late. Masamune bit his lip. Eventually, Masamune decided to join, but it was too late. June 5, 1590, Odawara Castle surrendered. On the very day the Hojo clan capitulated, Masamune arrived at Odawara. Hideyoshi was furious, or more precisely, pretended to be furious. Hideyoshi had seen through that Masamune's lateness was intentional. "You are late, Masamune." Hideyoshi's voice was quiet, but contained tremendous intimidation. Masamune appeared in death robes. Dressed in white death garments, he prostrated before Hideyoshi. "I will atone for my tardiness with this head." This was a declaration of resolve, a statement that he didn't mind being killed. But Hideyoshi laughed. "Oh, an interesting man? I like that courage. I'll pardon you." Hideyoshi had recognized Masamune's talent, too valuable to kill, but couldn't let him run free either, so he decided to neutralize him. Aizu's 1.2 million koku confiscated, reduced to Yonezawa's 580,000 koku. Masamune's domain shrank to less than half. In modern terms, it's like a CEO with 180 billion yen revenue being demoted to 87 billion yen, having headquarters seized, and being transferred to a regional branch. Masamune's ambition was completely crushed at this moment, but further tragedy awaited. 1591, Masamune nearly got poisoned to death by his own mother, Yoshihime. To make younger brother Kojiro the head, Yoshihime tried to kill Masamune. Poisoned food was placed before Masamune, but Masamune noticed. His mother's gaze, the trembling hands of the server, everything was unnatural. Masamune pretended to eat but didn't consume the poison. And Masamune, in turn, executed his younger brother Kojiro, his own brother, by his own hand. The reason was clear: if Kojiro lived, the Date clan would split internally. But this further eroded Masamune's soul. Shot his father, killed his brother, betrayed by his mother, he no longer had family. In 1598, Hideyoshi died, but for Masamune it was already too late. At this time, Masamune was 32, too old to aim for national supremacy. Then 1600, Battle of Sekigahara, Masamune joined Tokugawa Ieyasu's Eastern Army. But again, he was late. While Masamune was heading to Sekigahara, the battle had already ended. Masamune, age 34, no longer young enough to aim for national supremacy. Oda Nobunaga died at 49, Toyotomi Hideyoshi died at 62, Tokugawa Ieyasu lived to 75, but they all aimed for supremacy from their youth. By the time Masamune had ambition, it was already too late. "If only I had been born 10 years earlier," this phrase became Masamune's catchphrase.
Chapter 5, Final Years in Culture.
Having abandoned his ambition, Masamune chose a different path. Not military, but cultural pursuits. Not war, but refinement. Masamune decided to live as a cultured person, and he aimed to become a beloved lord of Sendai's 620,000 koku, cherished by his people. In 1601, Masamune moved his castle to Sendai. The reason for choosing this location was clear. Sendai was close to a port, suitable for trade. Masamune had realized that economic development was the path to enriching his domain, and remarkably, Masamune protected Christians and began trade with Europe. In 1613, Masamune dispatched his retainer Hasakura Tsunenaga as an envoy to Europe. This was Japan's first official European diplomatic mission. Hasakura visited Spain and Rome, meeting the Pope. Behind this grand plan was Masamune's ambition to introduce European military technology and someday return to power. But this plan also failed. Why? Because the Edo shogunate banned Christianity. Masamune's progressive attempts were crushed by the times. Once again, it was too late. But Masamune didn't give up. If military won't work, master culture. Masamune mastered tea ceremony, no theater, and cooking. His culinary knowledge was especially deep, and date maki, rolled omelette, which he reportedly invented, is still eaten throughout Japan as New Year's food. In modern terms, it's like a corporate CEO suddenly becoming a cultural figure, gourmet, and arts producer. Masamune was also known for his love of showiness. Black armor with gold decorations, crescent moon crest. Masamune's aesthetic sense remains in the word dateisha, stylish person. Calling fashionable people date derives from Masamune. But in Masamune's heart, there was always, what if? What if I'd been born 10 years earlier? What if Nobunaga had lived? What if Hideyoshi had unified the nation later? Throughout his life, Masamune fought against these what-ifs. But there are no what-ifs in history. Masamune knew this cruel truth better than anyone. May 24, 1636, Masamune fell ill in Edo, age 70. On his deathbed, he composed a death poem, Baju shonen sugu, yotaira kanishite hakuhatsu oshi. Youth on horseback quickly passed. The world became peaceful, and white hair increased his youth. Fighting on horseback passed in a flash, and after the world became peaceful, only white hair increased. This was the poignant life summary of a hero who came too late. Masamune's mausoleum, Zuihoden, is a gorgeously ornate shrine condensing his aesthetic. Black and gold lacquer, intricate carvings even in death, Masamune was showy, and his beloved armor and sword were enshrined in the tomb. Until the end, Masamune wanted to remain a warrior.
Ending.
Date Masamune, he had been born in the same year as Oda Nobunaga. How would history have changed? Perhaps instead of the Edo shogunate, a date shogunate might have been born. No one knows. But one thing is certain within the fate given to him. Masamune chose the best way to live. If he couldn't rule the nation, master culture. If he couldn't win militarily, win economically. If that failed too, be cherished as a wise lord by his people, Masamune kept rising no matter how many times he fell. The one-eyed dragon, Date Masamune. This hero who came too late still left definite footprints in history. And even today, the people of Sendai take pride in Masamune. Because of Lord Masamune, we have today's Sendai.
Like, subscribe to enter the world of samurai you never knew. Comment with which Sengoku warrior you want to know about next. Samurai Nippon, until next time.